Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Finance This Property That, powered by Stratega Finance. Yes, we're up and running, if you haven't heard, for the last 3 podcasts. But yes, thanks for joining us on the journey. Want to share with you a customer interaction that I've had. One of the clients that we are actually helping at the moment, where it's pretty much the typical type, very typical clients that I do see. $3 million home, no debt, and basically I just told them to borrow. And the reason for that is they're a self-employed couple, early 50s. Home's probably worth about 3 mil. It's totally paid off. Amazing foundational position. And they've got about 2.5 mil in super and no debt. No other assets. And they're like, well, we need to plan for our future. What does that even look like? So the problem is, on paper, they'd actually won. Like, they're living the Australian dream. They've got no debt, and they're basically, it's all change, right? They'd won. Like, they thought, in their head, they thought they could move quickly on anything. The bank, unfortunately, where they do use your property as security, they don't lend it. They don't lend the repayments based on security. They lend based on security and the income you can provide and prove to be able to lend that money over the time. So the trap that most self-employed people face is that if self-employed incomes drop the year you want to slow down, the exact year, that's sometimes where people go, oh, I want to buy a property, but then, you don't have the financials to actually do it. The day, and this is, when you do drop down on the intensity of work, you kind of have headspace to do other things. And that's, like I said, most of my clients, I want to buy a property. So, the day you actually need the facility, sometimes is the day you're least likely to get it. So some of the moves that we have been making for certain clients in certain situations is, man, while you can, set up the facility against your home loan while the income is still supporting it. It's your war chest, as I like to call it in this instance. It's fully offset, interest only, not a cent drawn. The cash in offset cancels the interest on the drawn balance, costs you nothing to hold. Pretty simple. But what it does buy you, and here's the gold, buys you speed. You literally have cash to put into the deal. Settle on the day instead of losing 4 weeks while the deal walks, right? You're in negotiation power. So the price, a cash offer negotiates harder than a finance clause, right? Insurance, the facility already exists before your income has to prove it against itself. It's there. So if you're in that position, that's what we're recommending. Like, why the hell not? So it's got to make sense, and you got to have that risk appetite as well. But the key takeaway from this is the approval is obviously a function of the income that you can prove today, not the assets that you hold, right? Being debt-free is a story. You want to be debt-free in the right areas. So like owner-occupied, you can be debt-free, but if you actually have debt against it, there is good debt that allows you to grow your wealth and build passive income over time. Is good debt, right? It's all about how you structure, and what having a strategy and a roadmap in play, and having that team around you to guide you through that. So these clients are well on their way, and I think being stuck is more a downside of you not having the space and capacity to do something, or just not understanding what your options are. If you want to understand your options and you want to have a property roadmap, man, get in touch with us. As always, the information on this podcast is very general in nature. It doesn't take into consideration your situation. If you want us to have a look at your roadmap, come and get in touch with us. Very, very easy to find. Instagram at stratega.finance. I'm on LinkedIn, Dion Fernandes. And also, you can get us on our new website, www.strategafinance.com.au. All the podcasts are there, our blogs are there. All the information you want to know about us is there. We're an open book. And how we actually help clients in our process and strategy that we do. Everyone that's new starts on the finance strategy. That is the engagement that we take. We don't do anything without understanding your full situation and then having a plan, and then we execute the plan in the right sequence. If this sounds familiar or sounds like you or sounds like someone you know, let's have a chat. But again, thanks for listening, as always, and I will see you on the next episode.